Good morning, Rockets. Well, at least it's morning when I'm taping this for you. It's Mrs. Wilkenbush, so that means it must be math time. Hey, so if you'll check out the screen, we are actually in Unit 7, Module 2 today. So we're going to scroll down to, not the first page, the second page, but we are going to stop right here, writing and comparing decimal numbers. You guys have been practicing this for a little bit. So I'm going to do the first one with you, and then I'm going to do another one, and then that's all we've got today. So on your page, it is page 273 in the book. And again, do what you can. Have your parents help, your siblings, anyone that's around that can help you, or most of you, you've got this. You've been becoming experts at writing and comparing decimal numbers and fractions and multiplication and all the things that we would have worked on had we been at Riverside as well. So first of all, thank you for all your hard work. You guys are doing above and beyond fabulous in this kind of wonky time in our history. So we are very grateful as teachers that you are doing what you can. We also understand that the priority should be you and your families, and just spending time with each other. That's probably the most important thing that you need to take away from this time. The learning's going to come, so let's get at it. So writing and comparing decimals. So I'm going to start here with this grid. You know how I am with my Screencastify. I'm kind of getting better, but not perfect. So bear with me and just remember that, I have a lot to learn too. So when we get back together, I would love for you to help me. All right. So we have to answer the grid. Let me get back to my line here. So use the grid below to answer the questions. So first of all, do you remember back in the old days, we had those big yellow kind of bricks and flats and cubes? This is what I would call a flat, okay? And we know that there are 100 little cubes in the flat, correct? Okay, so if I broke these lines apart, these were called longs, right? So in order to help me figure out the tenths and the hundreds, I'm going to think in that kind of terminology, flat and longs. So I'm going to do a picture. So see, I can't even draw the square there. All right, so that is my flat, this whole thing right there. Let's see if I can fix that line up there. So I need to go have Mr. Elliott give me some drawing lessons. I should come to class with you. All right, there we go. So that's my flat, okay? So I know that I'm in the hundreds. Okay, so what if we start with the tenths and then we can get to the hundreds? So I know this is 100. So I know that in each line, let's switch colors so then you can see my color change here. I know that there are 10 in there, correct? So I have 1 long, 2 longs, 3 longs, 4 longs, 5 longs, 6 longs. And I know that there are 10 of them. So how many tenths are filled in is the question that they want me to ask. Well, how many longs did I draw a line? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my answer is going to be 6. Now, it says if I have 6 tenths, well, how many hundredths do I have? Okay, well, I said the whole thing, the flat is 100, right? And if I have 6, and if these are 10, so let's count by 10. So I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. I have 60 hundredths. So let's write 60. Does that make sense to you? How that we are breaking the flat, which we know is 100 individual cubes, but we're breaking them into tenths, which would be the longs, and we're breaking them into hundredths, which would be the whole entire flat. So if I counted each individual cube, I would get 60 cubes, which would be 60 hundredths. Because the whole thing, there's 100 total, and there's 60 of those, okay? So now I've used this example. So now I need to go over here and fill in the blanks for the two fractions that represent the amount. Well, this is kind of easy because I did how many longs? There were a total of 10 longs, but I only had 6 of them colored. So my answer here would be, I'm going to do a 6. And then it says how many hundreds? Well, I would do 60. Okay, making sense? Are you still with me? Good. Bobblehead, yes? Good job. All right, and now it says fill in the blanks to show the two decimal numbers that represent this amount. Okay, well, how many total ones do I have? Well, I don't have any. But how many tenths did I have? I had 6. So now let's go over here. Using the same diagram, how many ones did I have? Well, I don't have any. How many tenths did I have? I have 6 hundredths because I have 60 hundredths. Now, when we're working on place value and we're working on writing decimals, remember that when we are asked to, let me get my pointer back. When we are asked to write to the hundredths, these two answers are essentially the same answer because this is the same answer. 6 tenths equals 60 hundredths. But when we're writing for place value, if it's asking for you to write a number to the hundredths place value, you have to put a 0 in the hundredths place value. If it's only asking you to go to the tenths, then nothing comes behind it. Okay? That's kind of a tricky concept to understand. And we're going to keep practicing with that a little bit. Okay? All right, so I'm going to pause it for a minute. You get all of this written down because I'm going to erase it. We're going to do one more at the bottom of the page. So you ready to start writing if you haven't already? Go. All right, so forgot to erase my lines here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do question 2. We're going to do D together because that one's kind of I think a little bit trickier to look at. Okay, it says fill in the blanks to show 1 or 2 decimal numbers that represent each fraction or mixed number. Okay, so we're looking at D. Okay, so I'm looking at 5/600ths. All right, so I want to know how many ones, tenths, and hundreds to fill the decimal into the correct place values here. Okay, so let me get my pen going. So how many ones do I have? Well, I have the whole number, so I'm going to put 5 there. Okay, and then it says 6 hundredths. So do I have any tens? Because remember, if I went back up to the one and looked up above, I don't have a long completely filled in. So I have to put a 0 because I don't have a full tenth. I don't have a full long that's filled in. But it says 6 hundredths. So I'm going to write a 6 hundredths right there. So 5/6 hundredths as a fraction looks like 5.06 as a decimal. Okay? So your job for the rest of the page is to finish doing the rest that we didn't do. So basically number 2, so A, B, and C. And then you need to finish number 3, locate, oops, I scrolled up. There you go. Locate these 2 numbers on this number line and then compare the 2 inequalities with the 2 decimals. Okay? So you're going to do the greater than or less than, basically is what you're going to write for those. Okay, and that's it for math today. It's kind of a quick and easy math thing for you to do. Again, if you guys have any questions at all about the math that we're having you to do, reach out to your classroom teachers. We would love to help you. There is the answer key that is in the back that you can use just to help you if something doesn't, you think you're close but you're not quite sure. Have moms and dads help you find the answer key, and then maybe you can back in to see where the answer that you got is not what was in the answer key and where the difference is, and see if you can tell your parents why you got your answer, and then the group of you, whoever you're working with can figure that out. Okay, so that's what we're trying to do. As always, Rockets, it's great to see you. I hope you're doing well. Get out in that sun and getting some vitamin D, and we can't wait till we get to see you again. Stay safe, be well. See you soon, Rockets.